Hello, Abigail here with another Pick a Pile reading. This Pick a Pile reading, the theme is messages from your future self. We will be channeling messages from your future self. We'll be asking what the time frame they're kind of speaking from is, um, getting messages, moving back through linear time around any encouragement or insights or advice they might have as you're moving forward. Yeah, this is what this reading is for. We have these three piles. Pick whichever one attunes most to you. I will show you each crystal if that's going to help. I also have the timestamps down below, so if you just already know, you can just jump right into it. But starting off, pile number one, we have this beautiful pyrite. Love. Pile number two, clear quartz. And pile number three, rose quartz. So pick whichever pile and we'll get started. Hello, pile number one. This is the pile you've chosen with this beautiful pyrite. And this is the accompanying tarot deck that is going to kind of help us flush out and receive even more messages. What we're going to do is we're going to lay out this pile and then we're going to shuffle and dig into the tarot once we've gotten everything laid out. So, starting off, we're going to start with this. Birth mysteries. What are you being called to create? Ooh, already starting off with something really beautiful. Then we have these two Moonology cards. We have full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach. Always fun to get these guys jigsawed in here. And then a personal issue reaches resolution. Full moon in Cancer. I do find that this is very interesting. While I don't think it applies to everyone, I do think some of you are actually looking into birthing an actual child, or that's something that you're going to be doing in this time frame that your future self is kind of speaking to you from. Then we have our lovely Lenormand. Okay, nice. So let me just take a little look-see at how this is and also see if I can't wedge these in a little bit to create more space. Um, Always fun. I'm not going to fiddle with it too much. My ADHD is on fire. Okay, so future self, what do we want to tell us? What are we telling us? What are we bringing in? I was thinking we might just get into the Oracle and the Lenormand right away, but I'm really feeling that we need to draw tarot to really tap in. So that's what we're going to do. Cups, King of Wands, Knight of Wands, all the face cards. Nice. Okay, yep. So we will draw some more in a minute, but starting off, I do genuinely think that this pile is about building a family. So if you are not interested in building a family in the next, look at in the next 4 years is what I'm getting. In the next 4 years, then this pile is probably not for you. It's very specifically about building a home, a family, connections. This is also about breaking cycles when it comes to family. So if family building is not something that you desire, I would suggest picking another pile. But for those of you who are staying, this is about a family. Your future self is telling you that you are going to be birthing a child in some form or another within the next 4 years. And that's kind of the time frame we're looking at. We're looking at this is kind of like a 4-year perspective. specifically because this mansion card is screaming my name. And all of these are face cards, which it feels like this is your family that you are building. These are the components. Obviously, the main focus is you, but yeah, we're building family. But let's get into it. So we have this birth mysteries. What are being called to create? Obviously, it's not just a child. I feel like this also, especially with pyrite, is about like building the wealth in order to have a family, about doing the like getting the money and the finances to have a family, because that's really important. It's also about, I really think, finding the person to build a family. Now, since we do start off right away with the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups, this is non gendered. I do think some of you have already met your person. And if you're like, no, Abigail, I have not, there's no way, please. You're like, please, no. Um, this isn't for everybody. This is just for some. About 50% of you already have your person. Um, and with the sun here, this is about creating a life that works for you in the construct of what is seen to be traditional. So this is, you're not required to build a traditional family. You're just building what family means for you. So we have the mansion, we have the mice, and we have the nest. The nest tells me that you are kind of in a rough spot right now. The nest is about overcoming obstacles in order to build the life that you want. And so in this moment, it really feels like we're in the obstacle zone. This is the goal. This is where we're starting from. We do have the mice, however, in the middle of this, which to me is screaming that some of you, this is interesting. So the messages are coming in really hot and fast. I'm getting so many. This group is really diverse. I'm going to say that. So just know that if it doesn't apply to you, it doesn't apply to you, because this group involves single people. This group involves people who are in relationships and the relationship isn't meant for them, and people who have already met their person. Now, I don't think you're dating them necessarily, partially because we have the mice here. The mice are about things being taken, things being stolen. So it feels like you might be with someone, some of you are with someone who is stealing your time. To be frank, someone who is stealing your time. The reason you're not getting progress on this family deal is because the person you are currently with is not your person. And instead of just releasing you and letting you go, and this, and you can also be holding on, they want to hold on to you. This is also a really big theme that I see when it comes to eclipses. With this full moon eclipse, conclusions are within reach. Something is ending for this group. And what your future self wants to say is that it's okay. It is okay that it is ending because you have all of this coming for you. All of this is on its way. This home is on its way. I'm getting 4. So I think for many of you, we're looking at a family of 4. We have 4 figures. You are the sun. Your partner is either the king or the queen of cups. And then your children are the knight of wands. And yeah, I think your children are the knight of wands, queen of cups. Your partner is the king of wands. Also, this means that one of your children is going to be absolutely wild and one of them is like super psychic and deeply spiritual. So you have that to look forward to. We also have this a personal issue reaches resolution. So these are both full moons. And so a lot of you in this group are currently experiencing endings, and what your future self wants to say is it's okay. This ending isn't the end of your dreams. This ending isn't the end of your desire for a family. Also, with these cards, I'm going to draw a few more, but I also am already just getting the sense that once you let go, whatever is keeping you from your family, be it a person, a job, a place you are just like you need to move from, but you're not moving, a family dynamic, once you let this go, all of this comes in. The family stuff moves really quickly. And like I said, it's 4 years, which for a family is not a long time. So this is your family group. I'm going to put them up here. We know who they are. King of Wands, Knight of Wands, Queen of Cups, and the Sun. But we are going to draw more cards to like tell us the story of what we need to know, what encouragement, what kind of guidance on this path ahead. I'm actually going to take, sorry guys, I'm always just doing this little jigsaw while I figure out my formatting. We're going to take them and put them on the birthing mysteries. I do think for some of you, you might be worried about fertility. Just remember there's always more than one way to do something. And I would encourage, as a fertility astrologer, I would encourage getting that kind of work done because it can really help with stuff, or spirit baby work, which is also something I do. But you can get that work done from anybody. Not anybody. You can get that work done from other professionals. So let's see. What does, flyer. Look at that. I was right about the 4 years and also about what you're building. Yep. There they are. All right. So, yeah. So this is the energy that your future self is being like, this is coming. The Page of Wands, the excitement, the Four of Wands. But where you are right now is in this Ten of Swords, Eight of Swords. You feel trapped, you feel stuck, you don't feel happy. It feels like a lot of you are staying in a situation that's really starving your dreams, is what I'm hearing. There's a lot of energy of like, your dreams cannot breathe. And I'm specifically getting because of a person, because of someone that you're with, because of something that you haven't been able to let go of quite yet. I will say with an eclipse moon here, it will go away on its own if you don't do anything. However, I would encourage you to get a jump on it because eclipse energy is never gentle. Eclipse energy isn't gonna like be like, it's okay, sweetie. Let's do this like low and slow and move like at an actual decent rate. It's gonna rip things out of your hands. So, and especially with the personal issues reaching conclusion with the full moon of Cancer over here, you have the ability to let this go and let this be a really healing moment. But if you don't, you will be left with the eclipses too. Yeah. So the guidance of how to get here and to get out of here is, firstly, you're not doing everything wrong with the Knight of Coins. You do need to continue on your path. I think it's also the message of like, don't give up your specific dreams. You don't need to get rid of everything, in order to achieve what you want. But you do have to change your mindset and your perspective. Like I said, for a lot of you, you also need to let go of a specific partner or someone who you're interested in. They are not right for you. I often find in these readings too that sometimes these readings come as an affirmation where you're like, well, I've already done that. Well, this is an affirmation if you've already left the person and the place that was not meant for you and you're currently in the thick of it, feeling drained, feeling like you've lost so much, wondering how you're going to get from the mice card where they're eating your cheese to this beautiful mansion with trees surrounding it and multiple rooms and this great old dude playing a harp. Which kind of ties in and it makes me feel it's giving emperor energy. Also, the emperor is the 4 in the tarot. And so you are going to get everything that you want. You're going to have everything that you want in 4 years. But in order to get there, you have to weed out people who are not right for you. You have to kind of get a move on. I think for some of you who are still in this situation early on, it does feel really hopeless. But the start of moving towards this Four of Wands, the mansion, the birthing mysteries, the creating a family, you got to be Page of Wands, curious, also a little bit demanding. You need, if you are with someone and you are not sure, you're like, Abigail, I really want to stay with them. Can you get your dreams? Will they let you have your dreams? And if you have to ask the question, will they let me do something? It's not the right relationship because no partner should be letting you, pardon me, letting you do anything. Either you're a team or you're not. And someone restricting your ability to dream is one of the surefire signs, even if they're not a bad person, one of the surefire signs that y'all are just not meant to be together. And it's hard to hear. I've had to hear it before. We all have to hear it at some point in our lives, but you deserve more. You deserve to have what you deserve. You deserve to be able to dream, to be able to create the life you want, and someone is currently holding you back, and that's not cool. All right, what else about the next 4 years? Oh, I love this Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. I want to draw one more card for that baby. It's always interesting when we've got so much positivity. It's really interesting because usually I read this is past, current, and this is future. But ever since I have pulled these cards, they've been like, this is the future. This is like more current energy, and this is what you're leaving behind. And that has been affirmed with the Eight of Cups. You know, walking away, leaving behind stuff. We also on the bottom of the deck have the Nine of Wands. So this is something that's been a long time coming. And the Five of Coins, you are currently in a moment, and this ties back to this of like overcoming hardship where you're not being supported. You're not um, on an equal playing field. If you're single, you feel really alone and really isolated. If you are with someone, you feel really alone and really isolated, which what's the point at that point? But what is coming in is your future. And what that starts with is you meeting the right person. This wasn't necessarily meant to be a love reading, but it is in a sense because we're talking about family, and family should, even though I know a lot of us haven't experienced it, family should mean love. And we clearly see that up here with this Four of Wands of that love and that romance, which I really love that card. It's so beautiful. It starts with love. And while you are a powerful person on your own and you don't need anybody technically, you are someone who really thrives off of love. And once you have support and love, it's almost like anything is possible. Anything can happen. Anything can change and shift. So we have the full moon in Cancer, which is in Capricorn season, which is in December, and we also have an eclipse moon. This is a timeless reading, but pay attention to where those moons are. So there's going to be multiple eclipses in a year. I would pick the closest eclipse. You might even be in an eclipse season while watching this. I get this feeling that some of you are going to find this during an eclipse. It's not an eclipse while I'm recording, but I could see you finding this during an eclipse. And then also check out when the next Cancer full moon is, or if you're in Cancer season. So either way, it's in a 6-month period. But this whole kind of journey does pivot and hinge on you finding your person. And finding your person, it is a love that gives you wings and that gives you the power and the strength to claim your desires. And it not only creates a beautiful family, but I think within this birthing mystery is also you being able to birth other things, to be able to birth financial opportunities for yourself, more money, um, more connections with other people. It doesn't have to be all romance. This is romance, but that romance with that person opens doors for you that are kind of unimaginable. And I have like a weird feeling the future self is saying to some of you, and this is like I said, is some of you. If it doesn't resonate, don't take this one. This one's for a chosen few. You already know them. They're just not someone you've considered yet. So they are someone very safe, very reliable, very loving, and also future self is saying you're going to be surprised on the intimate front. You may think that they're boring, you may think that they're not interesting, but behind closed doors, they're actually incredibly spicy. So don't worry about that part if this does apply to you. So let's see. What else do we have in here? Oh, yes. The Wands. And I'm going to ask, because this is a 4-year period, but I am going to ask when things kind of turn around, because I think that's a nice thing to ask. But for now, I just want to kind of get some messages. And here we are again with this kind of ass backwards reading. A lot of you, this all hinges and starts with the High Priestess, with you connecting with your spiritual self, with you listening to your inner voice. Kind of going back to some of you being in a different relationship or not with the right person. We have the Two of Swords. This whole process, and it's right next to the Eight of Cups, this whole process starts with you walking away. Walking away, walking away, moving away towards this. So a lot of you have to leave what you're currently holding on to And the minute you do, literally within like 2 months, because we have these twos, yeah, that is actually giving me timing. Within 2 months from you walking away and letting go, stuff is starting to move. I don't know that you're necessarily in a relationship, but the financial front and the interpersonal front, there's an uptick. Um, so it all really does hinge on you letting stuff go. Also, it's interesting because this 10 of Swords is about a myth that involves betrayal between a daughter and a father. It doesn't necessarily have to be a father figure that betrays you, but a male figure that betrays you, or a figure with like masculine energy. And I'm not talking about like divine masculine, feminine. I don't really believe in that. But just like someone who, and also someone who has patriarchal qualities, let's say that. There is a sense of betrayal. We also have the Eight of Swords buried under here, um, with this story, which is the story of a girl who has to hide and dresses up as a donkey in order to do so. Um, but you're currently in a situation that isn't great, that isn't fun, and you're kind of hiding because you're afraid of like what happens if you don't leave, even though this person has betrayed you on some front, either by promising you something they're never going to do, or for some, I am getting cheater, not all, or just like not being the person you thought they were, or changing their mind about the future you wanted together, um, or just like not showing up for you in important moments in your life. And so once you can release this person, and I think for some of you, it's like also a place. Part of the reason you're staying with this person is because of a place or an area, and you're like, oh, but I really want to stay here. And if I broke up or if we separated, I might be tempted to try something new, and that feels a bit scary. But the answer is like once you can connect to yourself, make your choice, everything's going to change for the better. And obviously not completely your fault, but in a sense you are blocking this goodness from coming in. All right, so we're going to ask about timing. Interesting that we have the Queen of Swords, which to me is giving whenever you choose to make this choice, which I love it when the cards are like timing. No, you get to choose your own destiny. Yeah, it is actually literally that. I love this. Yeah, it's whenever you pick you. It is whenever you decide to choose you. And also for some of you, I think you're like, oh, I don't need to like lock in and like be like, oh, I want a family. I also think that in like society and stuff, especially um certain groups, when someone wants something that is considered more traditional, there is a lot of like backlash. And so it can be a hard situation to be in where you are someone who's really forward thinking, someone who has a unique perspective on the world and doesn't really necessarily ascribe to tradition, but you still want family, and that's kind of what this group is giving. And so it feels like you almost are hesitant to embrace this idea of family because you don't want to seem as though you're kind of like kowtowing to a system or something. And that's not the case. Like some people are really want family, specifically a family with their own children, with their own home, with their own care. And that's what you want. You really just have to be like, no, I want this and I'm going to go get it. This is also about manifestation. You need to start manifesting this family. And I will tell you this, once you start manifesting, all this is going to happen. So just be ready that once you are ready to go, the move will happen, the shift will happen. Things are going to go very fast. Um, and this is about wanting what you want with the Four of Coins. You want a partner, you want children, you want stability, you want care. This is, like I said, a very specific group of people that this is for. Um, and that is fine. There is nothing wrong with you wanting that and you going after it. I hate it when people are like, oh, you're being desperate. No, I have goals and dreams and I want them. So I'm going to go get them. Um, so yeah, it's going to happen once you decide to make the shift. If you have already decided to make the shift, these things are already starting to happen. They're already shifting and changing. Also, it's interesting that we have this betrayal card and we have the stealing card over here. We're definitely being stolen from. It's also a Seven of Clubs, which I find interesting. Because if you think about like the Seven of Swords or the Seven of Wands, it's about like pushing yourself too far and people not telling you the truth. And it definitely feels like that has been happening with you. So just keep that in mind. We also have this a 7 of diamonds here, so it's very much it's very much 7 of swords, 7 of wands. That's what it's giving. So the change is coming. Your future self is saying, when we choose to move forward, it's all going to happen. Will it take 4 years for it to fully unfold? Absolutely. But the minute you leave, the process is going to start. I would say, based on what I'm seeing here and what I'm getting intuitively, we're looking at 2 to 6 months from the point that you leave to where stuff starts to shift drastically. And you really start to feel the changes. For some of you, that's when you meet your person. But I would put that closer to the 6 month mark if you're at the very beginning. And as always with timing, just a little caveat, it takes two to tango or hundreds of thousands to tango. So it's not always exact. This is kind of like, if your partner or the person you're going to meet is on the same page, this will happen. If not, and if it does take longer, I almost bet once you do meet that person, you're going to be like, so what the hell were you doing? Because I was ready. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But this is your reading. I'm really excited for your future. You're going to get the family that you want. You're going to get the home that you want. You're going to get the connection. And like I said, it's not just going to be a beautiful birth of a child that we get to see. It is also going to be the birth of other things. This is just kind of like the centerpiece that everything else revolves around, is that this core desire is what is going to become the platform and the stability for the other things that you want in life as well. Anyways, my loves, this is my reading for you. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please pop it down in the comments. Please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow. Also, yes, if you have any topics you want me to do a reading on, let me know, and I will incorporate that into one of my readings. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all later. Many blessings. Bye. Boom. Lenormand. Hello, pile number 2. This is your pile. We have this beautiful clear quartz, and this is the deck we're going to be kind of pulling to flush out our story. But let's get started and lay out our cards. So, to kick it off, we have Lady of the Lake, new beginnings, something is about to happen. Now, remember that this is a reading with messages from your future self. So your future self is letting you know that something is about to happen. Something is about to change. Something is about to be born. Yep. A new start is coming, new moon. And then we have your commitment is being tested, which I find really interesting because we're talking about something new, but it's not something necessarily new, if that makes sense. It's something you have been working on, is what I'm getting. It's something that you and your future self are very invested in. And this new start feels like it is you finally getting traction on the thing you've been working on. And that's why your commitment is being tested, because it's not really been moving recently. And you have felt like, maybe this thing that I want to like really pick up speed, maybe it's just not meant for me. And I don't think that's the case. I do not think it's the case. I think it is that you are right at the moment where it's about to change. Okay, we love this. Oh, this is so nice. So we have the Rider, which is a messenger of good news. We have the Tree, which is about abundance and safety and connection. And we have the Ship, which is about good luck and good fortune when it comes to an endeavor, which, loving this for us. Super excited. I can just like feel your future self being like, you cannot even imagine how good it's going to be. You cannot even imagine how much it's going to change. You cannot even imagine how like perfect and magical this dream of ours, how it's going to unfold. I do want to ask about the dream, and I want to ask about, well, we'll ask when in a minute. I want to see what comes up first. Ah, yes, pile number one got this as well. Eight of Cups, baby. Ooh, Eight of Cups, Page of Wands, and the Empress. You guys have had to walk away from something. I don't think that you might necessarily be in the middle of it. Okay, you might be in the middle of walking away from something, but you haven't not yet done it. You've already started a process, basically. You have had to leave something behind in order to get this new beginning that you have started. But the new beginning hasn't really kicked off the way that you thought it would, or it's not moving fast enough for your personal needs. I'm sensing financially is what we're talking about here, especially since we have this that's kind of a very merchant card. But we have the Page of Wands, which is a messenger of hope and passion. Very interesting because it ties into this one here, because this is also a messenger. And we have the Empress. This is about you coming home to yourself. This is about you being not just the queen of your own castle, but like the center of your own universe and in charge in a way that I don't think you're feeling right now. Also, I love that we have a three here and a three here. This is about abundance. This is about having enough. And your future self is like, the walking away was an excellent idea. And we just got to stick to our guns. If the walking away involved an ex, we are not going back. If the walking away involved a job, we're not going to do that same type of job again. If the walking away had a bad boss involved, we're not going to work for bad bosses. It feels like you're at a point where you're like, I need to give up or I'm going to not be able to take care of myself. But there is a message here that you are, that the corner is about to be turned, especially with like all of these low numbers. And the Empress and the Lady of the Lake. Ooh, I don't think we're going to read all of these, but maybe we will. Who knows? I definitely know that this is a card we need. Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, so this really ties into what I was saying about I don't think we're like giving up. Like we're not like walking away from something we've been working on. We have been honing, we have been crafting. Your future self is like continue to work on our special project, because the thing that you are doing, you're cultivating, whether it be a social media channel, whether it be a business or a profession, and it just feels really out of reach right now, it is not that far away. I can tell you that. And you should continue to work on it. You should continue to invest in it because it is your golden ticket. It is your ship that is going to come in, what I'm hearing. All right. What else? Nope. Knight of Pentacles. Oh, the other group got this as well. Yeah, it is the message to keep going. It's also a message to me that you are actually doing everything right. It's just timing. That's a bit tricky here. We are just dealing with certain things needing to line up is what I'm hearing. We're getting there. It's coming. I am going to look at timing to see when it's coming because I know that's important, but I want to kind of finish out this thing around what you've been doing and its value. Oh, the Emperor. Oh, next to the Empress. Yes, you are all that. You are everything that you think you are. This is because this is definitely giving very much like personal growth. I will say for some of you, there's a really important partnership coming in as well, whether it be romantic or collaborative or business. Someone else is going to come in and really like help you with your business, with your stuff, whether it's a client who really believes in you or a significant other who really believes in you, or if you already have someone like that, they are about to really get moving on like helping you attain and achieve your goals, which is beautiful. What can we do? Is there anything we can do to speed this up, or is there a specific timing? Are we dealing with destiny, which is which means LOL? We don't know exactly what time, but it's predestined. Also, they're starting to cut grass outside, so I'm sorry if that bleeds through. There isn't anything I can really do about it. Oh God, that's loud. Okay. Page of Cups and Queen of Swords. Oh, they also got Queen of Swords in pile one. There's a lot of correlations with pile one. Very different kind of reading, but if pile one was all about building a family, if that is something that appeals to you, I would suggest go watching pile one because we've just drawn a lot of the same cards at this point. So go do that if you want to after this. But we have Page of Cups, Queen of Swords, and the Knight of Cups. And I was asking, like, is there anything we can do? And the truth is I'm not sure there is anything but embodiment here. You know, you need to follow your gut for one. You need to trust your intuition. Also, you need to trust your silly, goofy ideas. Some of your ideas might seem a little far-fetched. Some people might be like, oh, they're too emotion-based. That's not a logical, that's not like a logical thing. Like you're not gonna like be able to do this. This is not business savvy. I think some people, losers, are doubting your decision because they think everything has to be done a certain way. You're going to be doing things differently. It very much ties into this Page of Wands here as well. Like you are an innovator, you are a shifter and a changer, and part of the reason that you are feeling a bit insecure is because you're doing something that others haven't really done in the way that you're doing it before. It is fine. It's going to work out. It's also that you need to find your specific people. You may not be someone who appeals to everyone, but you don't need to, because the specific group that you do appeal to, they are going to be all in, whether they be followers, whether they be clients, whether they be contractors. They are going to believe in you. All right, all right. Okay, so we do have a message in here that seems pretty intense from your higher self. Let's see what this was kind of a jump scare. What are we saying? Okay, so for some of you, people be lying. Someone is not telling you the truth. I think some of you thought when I mentioned the Emperor that you were thinking of someone. And I think that maybe, I don't know if you can see, but my prism is shining on my hand. That's what that is if you're wondering. I can't tell if you can see it from the camera angle. Sorry, my ADHD got me. But someone may not be on your side, who you think is. So just be cautious, especially with the Queen of Swords. You don't necessarily need to share all of your business all the time. Keep it to yourself. This also isn't necessarily new information. This is a part of the walking away. The walking away is very big. I'll say that. You're like, oh, maybe I've walked away because I've like changed a small habit. Unfortunately, no. This walking away is pretty freaking bombastic. So you'll know the thing by the fact that it is crazy life changing, a huge shift. Also, I'm getting this as a huge past life pattern for you. We do have this Four of Swords. I do think for some of you, actually probably for all of you, there is going to be a phase between the new start and in this moment of feeling like things aren't working out, feeling as though things are failing, where you just need to rest. Because I was asking about, like, is there anything we can do? And the answer is no. The answer is with these guys, be yourself. And then with this Four of Swords, no. Besides maybe sorting out people who aren't in your corner. That's about it. Basically, destiny is already on its way. Divine timing, all of this stuff is already ticking over. You just need to kind of stay true to yourself and stay true to your ideas and take care of yourself for a minute. Now, I do want to ask about timing because I appreciate timing. Now, just a reminder with timing, like destiny and divine timing requires the participation of other people. There might be some people who slow this down because they are not participating. You too can also slow this down. I don't know that your group will because it feels like you're already doing a lot. But don't leave out the resting part, because if you don't know how to rest, the universe might also be like, well, they haven't learned to rest yet. I don't want them to burn themselves out. So if you take anything from this and you're like, what can I do to move this faster? Honestly, resting, which seems counterintuitive, but it can often be the case. Oh, we're being a little reticent about timing, are we? Give me something, anything. Well, I always swear I'm not going to cut out shuffling, but we'll be more reckless about our shuffling. See if that gets. They don't want to give me timing. All right, let's take a second. Please give me timing or something or anything. There we go. High Priestess, which also got in the other reading. A lot of you need to go look at reading number one. But I also reading number one is also very niche, so nope. All right. High Priestess, Five of Swords, Eight of Wands. Oh, I just realized something. I didn't really talk to your future self. Your future self and I haven't really talked about what this time frame is, what vantage point they're looking at for you. You know, where they're saying it's going to be okay. And what I'm instantly drawn to is this 3 here. And I really do think that it is 3 years. We are looking from a perspective of 3 years for this idea to kind of reach its pinnacle. Not 3 years for it to start. You're already well on your way to start it. It's just that's the perspective that your future self is kind of speaking from, of being like 3 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, oh, it all worked out. Oh, it was all fine. So now that we've done that, let's look at the timing. So we have the High Priestess, and this was exactly the position that I got when I asked for timing for pile number one. I'm sorry to keep referencing it, but there's just so many similarities. We have the Five of Swords, which is kind of makes me wonder if your timing might really be dependent on the other people. And we have the Eight of Wands, and the message is very similar to what I got for pile number one, which is once you release the stuff that isn't meant for you, the walking away with the Eight of Cups, the death, the allowing rebirth to happen, the believing in your dreams, it will start happening almost right away. There we are. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, there is an element of luck in here, which is a very non-precise element. But I do think, especially with the wheel, as long as you are playing, it is coming in quickly. As long as you are participating in the universe, as you are manifesting, as you are engaging wholeheartedly, it will be coming in quite quickly. I do think we've got 2 5s here. So I think we're looking at like 5 to 10 months. Not for things to start, but for you to really see like big changes. I think the little changes and the like hope comes in really quickly. I think the hope is actually coming in the next 5 days to 2 weeks is what I'm hearing from your future self. But as far as like stuff really locking in, we're looking at 5 months. And then 10 months is like in that 5-month period between 5 and 10 is when you're so busy you don't know what to do with yourself. Let me see. What do they have to say about what to do in the meantime? A chunk of cards. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Six of Pentacles, Five of Wands, the World. So we have another 5 to affirm that time frame. You do still have some cleansing to do. You also, going back to that Seven of Swords that we had earlier and the kind of talking about some people that might not have your best interest at heart, you still need to root those people out. And that's what you'll be doing in that 5-month period. Also with the Six of Pentacles, we are building community and collaboration. Specifically feels like that Emperor coming in, especially since with the Roman numerals, it's VI for 6 and IV for 4. So it's coming, it's happening. You do need to build a support system. It feels like the 5 months, it's not that nothing's happening. You're building clientele, you're building connection, you're building equity with people, and it's all divinely timed. It's all going to happen when it needs to happen. This is also the World here is, I think, specifically letting you know that you are going to find a way to make it through the next 5 months, and you're going to be okay. So don't think that like, oh, it's going to be 5 months of destitution. It's not. It's just you're not going to have the blow up until 5 months, but you are going to be building towards that kind of takeoff with this Eight of Wands through the time. And I want to ask, we're getting close to the end of this. I can feel it. But I want to ask one more little like hope, guidance, information, something for you guys, because I do think you really could use it. It does feel like you guys are a lot of you are pretty discouraged in this pile. Depends on where you are in this journey. Some of you might already be seeing stuff moving. Um, and I think if you're like, okay, stuff has already started to move, that 5 month window might be smaller. The 5 months is for like people who are like in it. Nice. Love it. And this goes back to what I said about partnership, actually. I think that also a part of this is you having a connection. For some of you, it is a long term partner. For some of you, it is a collaborator, a mentor. But a lot of this building and a lot of stuff you're going to be doing in the next few months are going to be, sorry, I've got something in my eye, are going to be kind of zhuzhed up and um, enriched and deepened by a connection, by a relationship of some kind. We also have the King of Wands, this commitment being tested here. This is about being like, no, I am in it. This is my destiny. I'm going to get the business that I want. I deserve to have it. Also, the Four of Cups here. There is just some stuff you can't see right now. There are just some things that you're not aware of. You are missing your kind of fourth cup, and that's going to be coming in the next 5 months. There's like one last puzzle piece that needs to come in before things get really, really good, and I'll say almost too good. You're going to have to learn to like regulate yourself because you think you have time now, and you do, but you're not going to have time in 5 months because you are going to be slammed with good stuff. So prepare yourself wisely now. Prepare yourself and also believe with the King of Wands that this is coming, that you are about to receive some incredible, incredible abundance and growth when it comes to this specific business or career or what have you. Anyways, my loves, this is very exciting. I know some of you are in a rough place, some of you are coming out of a rough place, but your future self wants you to know that it's going to be okay. And I also think for some of you who might be feeling very lonely right now, while it hasn't been a major theme, some of you are going to meet a really pivotal friend, partner, or person during the next 6 months that are really going to be a huge support to you. And so you don't have to do this alone. And that's the final thing from your future self. I hope this resonates. Please let me know if it does in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Also, if you have any ideas of like what you would like me to do a reading on, let me know and I will incorporate it into one of my readings. Anyways, I wish you many blessings and I hope that this gave you the push you need to continue to invest in your dream because things are about to change. Anyways, I love you all. Bye-bye. Boom shakalaka. And mommy is in love with you. That's the crazy part, Reginald. You're too beautiful. Lenormand goes here. These go here. Hello, pile number 3. This is your pile, and this is the tarot deck we'll be using to uncover things. Also, pardon if you can hear a lawnmower in the background. They started mowing their lawn next door, and there's nothing I can do about it, so if it bleeds in, I deeply apologize. But I'm not giving up this reading for that. Anyways, this is the crystal you chose, this rose quartz. And let's get into your reading. So what I want to do first is I want to lay out your oracle cards and then we will dive into the nuances with the tarot. So starting off, we have This beautiful planetary wave, soul mission, trust the inner call, soul team. Okay, so pile number 3, you are a deeply spiritual crew. I'm getting that some of you might be practitioners, some of you might be witches. This is a very, this feels very past life as well, especially with the imagery of the figure with a star on their brow and then a figure at the bottom. Definitely something, we'll dig into it. I'm sensing, my spidey senses are tingling. Then we have a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries, and nothing will come of this situation. Ooh, interesting. Void of course. What's that about? So, void of course is when the moon isn't making any aspects to any other signs as it moves. And basically, when the moon is void of course, a lot of stuff doesn't stick. So, that's what void of course means. I'm also an astrologer, a fun fact. So, we have the dog for your Lenormand. We have the tower, and we have the 29. And I knew this was coming in one of these readings. So the 29 is a character card. It is not necessarily one of the Lenormand in the sense of prediction, but it is one of, like, if I was reading a reading, if it was femme energy, then this would be the kind of focal point. And we'll get into that here in a minute. But I do think we need to draw some cards because this energy is rich and nuanced and really, this is one fascinating. Okay, 10 of Cups. Nice. Love that. Interesting what the vibes we have because the 4 of Swords. Sometimes my dyslexia gets me and I read those wrong. The Sun. Also, this is a newer deck for me and I'm absolutely loving it. And the Queen of Swords, which the Queen of Swords we've gotten in every single reading so far, which I always find fascinating. I want to check something about the Lenormand. I want to check and see about this tower. Make sure I'm correct. Okay, castle. All right, so it's castle. I knew I was getting something wrong. So, castle. Castle is about longevity, but I want to kind of look. Something big is ending here, but it's almost simultaneously a massive beginning. And I actually want to draw another Lenormand. Let me pull my deck. Just because she is you. Whether, regardless of your gender, this lady here is you. And I want to, and we also have the sun right next to her. So this is very much about you, your sense of self, your dignity, your personal magic, your divinity. There's something big happening in your life. All right. So the scythe is a messenger of danger. It feels like, okay, so I know what's happening. Some of you are in a really bad situation right now. Just gonna say it. Some of you are not in a good situation. I will be honest, it is dangerous, either spiritually dangerous or physically dangerous or emotionally unsafe. You've been putting yourself through a lot because you felt like this was your only option or you felt somehow obligated to a person or a place or a thing. But you don't need to be because you have so many other things that are going to be coming in. But there's a huge shedding here that has to happen first. I do think for some of you, you have just gotten out of this situation, and this is an affirmation of it. Because it is right next to you, it feels not super long ago. But we have this castle, which signifies longevity and length of life. Also interesting, this is about like aging, and this is an elderly figure. Then we have the dog, which is about companionship and care and connection, and that's where we're headed towards. So it feels like in this moment you might feel like you've lost a lot, but coming up, there is a lot of attainment. And this is very much about the journey of your soul. This is very much about you and your soul progression. I also love with this sun. Feels like you were very divinely protected and guided. And you'd be like, Abigail, I've been in some crazy situations. And I'm like, yeah, but you got out of them, or you're going to get out of them. And that's the protection part. Like, protection doesn't necessarily keep you from the wild stuff that happens to you, but it definitely keeps you from being in them for forever. All right. I want to pull some more because, to be honest, this is a pretty obscured reading. Age of Cups. That's why I was coming in upside down. I had the deck backwards. Page of Cups. The World. Also, we have some pretty big cards in here. The World, the Sun, and the Seven of Pentacles. So this is an ongoing journey. I think this is an ongoing past life journey. I think a lot of you in this group has something in your birth chart called a skip step. It's where a planet is T-squared to the lunar nodes, because it feels like this lifetime is a bit of a redo. And a sign that you kind of tell that this might be you is that you've had a lot of lifetimes in one. You like look back at whatever age you are and you look back and you're like, wow, I've lived multiple different lives, multiple different personalities. When I think about stories about myself in the past, it's almost like I'm looking into a storybook. It's so diverse and so different. And so in this moment, there is a message for you that you have a higher calling, that you always have had a higher calling, that your soul has had a higher calling through multiple lifetimes. And you have been feeling very crushed by the mundane recently. And you are about to go through a transformation, or you are in the middle of a transformation where all of that is about to change. You are about to connect to your psychic gifts. You are about to, if you haven't already, you are connecting to ancestry. You are realizing that you have an immense amount of cosmic power. And the universe has been trying to tell you. Have you heard them? Maybe not completely, but you've definitely been in a phase of your life with this Four of Swords where you have kind of felt powerless, where you have felt as though, almost as though you are asleep. And you've recently had a spiritual awakening, or you know you desperately need one, which means you're having a spiritual awakening. And to you, it may seem all like new and fresh, but actually it is something you've been working on across multiple lifetimes. And this lifetime is where the rubber meets the road, and you've really got to lock in. Your spiritual gifts should not be played about. You have a destiny. And currently, I'm not just channeling your future self. I'm getting ancestors. I am getting spirit guides. I am getting some like cosmic entities who have been your companion for a long time. Your future self is not alone in this reading. I can just definitely tell you that. I'm also feeling a little lightheaded, which means a lot of energy here. You are destined for spiritual greatness, not to lord it over other people, not to be in control or to have power, but because you are just that vibrant. And while you, I think, are going to genuinely have a wonderful life after this point, you have to embrace that power in order to move forward. And it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be a bit scary. But we have the Queen of Swords. You can do anything. And I'm also getting the sense that the very human part of you in this lifetime has the power to withstand the spiritual fluctuations you're going through. You have the mental power, the agility to handle this. You are also so deeply psychic with that eye over there, and so deeply abundant with the pomegranate over here. And you maybe haven't been able to recognize that until very recently. And I think for a small portion of you, this reading will be the moment where you see that, or where you begin to see that. But the universe has kind of watched you be kind of doodle around and work through some of your karma. And now they're like, okay, time to stop playing. You have a crazy destiny, and we got to lock in, because you are going to be. I'm literally hearing a famous witch, a famous psychic medium, a famous spiritual leader. Um, there is a little message in here, especially with the sun and this card. Like, be careful not to become a cult leader or someone who, I'm getting this specifically as a channeled message, someone who only listens to themselves. You need a team to help you. That includes spiritual team, that includes other people. It's also very much in this world card of these multiple figures being engaged, participating in this. Also, I love the kitty here. Adore that. You do not stand alone in your power. You are supported by an entire cosmos. And because you are supported, it also means that you are not the sole owner and proprietor of this energy. So keep an eye on the parts of you that want to go, I am powerful and now I'm going to subjugate people, because there is an element here where your guides are like, don't take this power and then do what other people have done to you. Is a very strong message, and it's because this is from past lives. You have done that before. You have subjugated other people with the immense spiritual energy that is in your soul, and that's a no-no, especially in this lifetime. So don't do it. Like I said, I think we are looking at a really crazy life and an abundant life with this 10 of Cups here. I love it. You are about to shine. You are just very much in it. Yes, justice. The High Priestess, which we've gotten the High Priestess in this middle spot at this point in the reading, every single reading. If you feel so led, the other readings might also apply to you. So maybe check them out. Maybe listen for the first 5 minutes or so and see if it applies to you. And the Hierophant. Look at all of these major arcana. Yes, yes. All right, my dears. Yeah, just what I said. You're in a lifetime of rebalancing. You are coming back to your psychic energy after what I'm hearing is a bit of a fall from grace. You've also been trying to live in the mundane world. Like, obviously, the mundane needs to be connected to the divine and vice versa. But you have been too focused on the material outcomes and not focused enough on the spiritual journey, is what's coming through. Um, and while your future self is very present, you were also getting a big talking to some very big from some very big energies. Like I said, I was feeling lightheaded, feeling a little short of breath, feeling really drained right now. We're channeling some big stuff, so lock in. The Hierophant is about power, is about rulership, is about, we have rulers and leaders who are kings and emperors and presidents and stuff, but the Hierophant is the one who gives advice, is the advisor, is the person who actually pulls the strings. And this energy is coming forward for you when it comes to power. And interestingly enough, we have these figures here. And in the world card, we have that figure here. And so there is this idea, I think, of a past life where you guys have used your very immense and beautiful psychic skills to do not great things. And that's partially why you have struggled so much, because the universe was like, listen, you have done not good things. And in this lifetime with the High Priestess, I especially love the tree growing out of this figure. You are here to nurture and to bring hope with the power that you have, to bring abundance rather than to subjugate. And people are still going to come to you for advice. They are still going to ask you for things, but instead of using it to twist and to get what you want and to put other people down, you use it to get what you want, but to get what you want in the context of everyone. Also, there's a warning here. Just because you are so energetically and psychically gifted, not to look down on those who are not, because that is another type of gifting and it is necessary for the balance of the cosmos. So do not create a hierarchy, Hierophant, around magical gifts. That will be a downfall for you, so be careful. Also, this side is making more and more sense that you have been through some really intense past lives. And you've kind of brought some of your own destiny on your own head. Doesn't mean that you have deserved anything that's happened to you, but a lot of this older energy has really affected your life to date. And I get the feeling that some of you might be fairly deep into your life and been like, what the hell is happening? Well, guys, you are a really intense cosmic being and you have been powerful many times before. And in this lifetime, you are being taught power through care and empathy rather than power through force. And that's very much where this Justice card comes in. Now, it's interesting because I've been asking like what vantage point your future self is from, but we're talking to some big guys, some really intense cosmic entities. um, who are calling you to your spiritual practice. The star, ugh, death, could we get any crazier? Also, do you notice how many major arcana we have in here? The sun, the Hierophant, the High Priestess, the Star, Justice. Anybody else? I can't remember. I don't think so. You know, this this is magic. You are magic. You have been both the light and the dark in multiple lifetimes, and in this lifetime, you're being asked. Oh, it's really beautiful. You're being asked to be human while also being the cosmic power that you are. You are being asked to live in the mundane, which is very much giving this Empress with the tree and the fruit. You're being asked to live in the mundane in order to accumulate the empathy and the care and the connections you need for your next lifetime. And so while I think everything is going to change in this lifetime, and I'm going to ask about timing in a minute, but the messages, the huge messages keep coming through. You are being asked to do things differently. And a part of the doing things differently was you, and I'm just going to channel this because this is not necessarily I believe in, but this is something I'm being told. You had to suffer in order to understand pain because you've spent a lot of lifetime not understanding other people's pain and putting a lot of people through it. Not necessarily out of maliciousness, but because you are such a strong energy, you just didn't understand weakness. And in that lack of understanding of weakness, you caused harm. And this is your lifetime to shift that, to change it. And while you are going to get wonderful things once you start this change, and I think you're already well on your way, you will have to live with the pain. And I think for some of you, you might have a chronic condition, or at least a very, very rough childhood and adulthood, early adulthood. You've been asked to experience this in order to fully understand. And I would also say some of you, especially with this planetary wave, soul mission, inner call, soul team, some of you aren't even human souls originally. You've just been human. You've just been in the human world for a long time. And this is not like soul hierarchy. I don't believe in that. I think human souls are just as valuable as any other type of soul, but you have not angel souls, but a cosmic soul that has been in the human realm for a long time. And it has led you to be a little less empathetic, well, a lot less empathetic because you don't necessarily resonate with human things all the time, but you can and you should. And that's the message. Okay. We're going to take a moment, take a deep breath, pull this reading in. I understand how important this is. And I think that we understand how important this is. And this soul is going to listen. And I think you are going to, in the next few months, have some really wild spiritual experiences. But I do want to reconnect with your future self. Get this reading back on track. And they're acquiescing to it. Those who came in to talk about this. Yep, King of Pentacles, Knight of Cups. We're back. So things are about to change, but they are changing based on the information you now have. You need to take some time to connect to yourself so that you can step into your full power, not only as a cosmic soul, but as a human, because you have a lot of power as a human as well. And we can't forget that. You need to have a very human lifetime. You need to experience the mundane. You need to go to the park with your friends, and you need to run around barefoot. You've had a lot of really elevated lifestyles because of your soul difference, and the universe is now we need to be a person and we need to experience human things. And I'm really getting that a part of this from your future self is a part of the way you're going to usher this in is by being really kind to yourself, really generous to yourself, really kind to other people, really thoughtful of your actions and choices, not to the measure of oh no, everything I do is so important that I'm going to get, crippling anxiety about it, but being really conscious about what you want and where you're going and what you would like to do on a human level. What's your bucket list as a human? They don't need to be crazy and huge, but mundane stuff. I want to stay up all night and watch the sunrise, or just a lot of emotion coming through. Yeah, your soul has been so focused on cosmic energy in a human body that you have gotten worn out. And all the things that you want, the human things, they are going to happen. You will experience them. You're also going to experience things on a cosmic level that no one else gets to experience. But you really do, as someone who is destined for some really insane psychic stuff, and you're going to experience that. And some of you are going to be very, very well known witches and seers and diviners, even if you don't do it like professionally. It's something that will be known about you. Um, you need to experience humanness. Um, you need to experience love. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking. Um, your soul has done the big stuff for so long that it's missed out on the little stuff, and it's made it very harsh because it's running on empty. And so your future self is like, we need to be nurtured. We need to be fed. We do need to care about the mundane, even though we also have a cosmic calling. Um, so yeah, uh, let me just take a moment to sit with this because this is really important, and this is a really important reading for those who have chosen it and who it has resonated with. But you guys have a lot of spiritual work to do, but also at the same time, you need to be firmly grounded and rooted in the mundane. And you need to invest equally in a mundane life, in a life that has connection and care. And you do also still need money. Even with all of that power, you still need money, and you need to be taken care of, and you need connection and care and friends. Yeah, we have the moon, Two of Wands, Two of Swords. You have a choice. You have choices to make. So your future self, whereas the other future selves, we were looking from a perspective of like a couple of years. This is your future self in the concept of lifetimes. And in this lifetime, you have a choice to choose what you want, but you need to choose what you truly want. And for some of you, it is going to be, we also have the Two of Pentacles under here. For some of you, it is going to be focusing on the mundane. And while the spirituality and your cosmic self is very involved, it is focusing on building things here on earth. And some of you are going to choose to focus on the cosmic, and you put more energy into the cosmic. Neither is a wrong choice, but you need to have both in order to exist. One is just going to get a little more energy. So in the next 2 months, you have some choices to make. I do think it involves leaving a lot of stuff behind. I also think for some of you, you think that you're going to die young, and that's just not true. You have the Castle here, and you have the Ten of Cups. You're probably going to live longer than you want, honestly, which I apologize for being the bearer of bad news. Because some of you are like, get me off of this floating rock. Yeah, we have Judgment. This is such a karmic reading. The Fool and the Nine of Wands. Yeah, these choices are also for your next lifetime with the Judgment, the Fool, and the Nine of Wands. You have the potential in this lifetime. You're not going to be free from your karma and from the stuff you have to do in this lifetime. You will still have to struggle, even though I do think with this Ten of Cups, a lot of beautiful stuff is about to come into your life, especially if you can accept the message that I have given you. Well, not I have given you, that the cosmos has given you today. But also, this is a lifetime that you change the entire trajectory of your future. And it means that you have to choose yourself. And you have to choose empathy and care and community over isolation and judgment. And also, you have some final karma to do. because you have done a lot of harm in the past. Not necessarily because I think you were evil, but because, like I said, you are a different kind of soul. And your focus was on power and energy through power rather than energy as a community action, energy as a part of Earth. And in this lifetime, you are becoming a part of Earth in a way you never have before, which is partially why you probably feel a bit worn out. All right, future self. Timing. Timing. Do we have timings? I know you're looking at this from a multiple lifetime perspective, future self, but do we have a mundane response to give the human part of this person, the experiences they've had? Do you have an answer for the part of them that is mundane, that lives on this earth, that doesn't live in cosmic time? Okay, so pretty cool, guys. Nice. You're gonna change everything. And I'm so weepy right now with all of this energy. Trying not to tear up again. Ace of Cups on the bottom. Yes. You have the opportunity in the next 3 to 2 months to change your entire life. It requires you walking away and blowing up. A fiery climax approaches, blowing up the life that you've currently had, blowing up your ideas about yourself, your beliefs about yourself, what you have been investing in up to this point. Completely gone. You are having a complete rebirth, a complete, doesn't mean that your dreams are different, completely different, but anything that wasn't actually from you and were expectations from your past lives or from other people, they're gone. But in the next 3 to 2 months, and I think some of you are already kind of in it, so closer to 2 months, everything's going to change. You're going to change your desire. You're going to have a spiritual awakening if you're not already in it. Look at that eyeball in this Ten of Pentacles. You are going to overcome in a very short period of time a bunch of karmic cords. I would also suggest to some of you to get karmic remediation work. I do this work. Other practitioners do this work. You need to dig into your past lives for sure. But you are changing everything. Your cosmic soul is accepting its humanness in this lifetime. And that's kind of what the struggle has been, is that you're not really built for earth time, but you have chosen to live in it. And in this lifetime, you're accepting that. And that, while it seems counterintuitive, that is going to ramp up your energetic power times 10, because you will be utilizing the energy of earth in tandem with your cosmic energy, and you are going to be a force to be reckoned with, is what I'm hearing. And going back to this Four of Swords at the very beginning, I think some of you have felt very powerless, and this is the moment that you step into your power. I do think the kind of initial process is 2 to 3 months. I think the timeline is 6 to 10 years. Simply because this is so huge. Doesn't mean you're not getting stuff. Doesn't mean nothing's happening until we hit 6 years. But it means that you don't fully understand this reading until we get to 6 years. But the next 10 years, you are going to explode in a positive way, is what I'm hearing. And so, and I also am being drawn back to this like dog, which is about companionship. You are also going to be meeting your people. It feels like a lot of you have been fairly isolated because of your soul and because of your past life journey. You're going to be finding your people. 10 of Cups, you're going to be finding your connection, your care. You're going to be finding your love, whether that be a family of your own, whether it be partnership, whether it be friendship, whether it be found family. I do sense a lot of you do not vibe with your blood relations in this reading. And that's because of the differences in your soul, but you have these. You are also going to attain some really incredible this lifetime attainments and achievements. And your soul is going to transform at a crazy rate. And I cannot emphasize enough, please get karmic remediation of some kind because it's really going to make this move faster. Um, which I think a lot of you are really worn out and are like, Abigail, I can't wait that long. And I'm not asking you to wait that long. The universe isn't asking you to wait that long. The cosmos isn't asking you to wait that long. Things are going to start to, your kind of like dark night of the soul is going to start to end in 2 to 3 months because I feel like you're already in it with these cards. Um, yeah, that was the Ten of Wands was me being like, I know you're exhausted. You are exhausted. But yeah, this is what I'll leave you with. We have this, which to me is just you being this cosmic being and soul who has experienced so much and who is not necessarily from here. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't engage as though you're from here. Does not make you better than anyone else, but it makes you different. And we have this Queen of Cups. It's about marrying the human that you are and the cosmic being that you are in this moment and becoming the duality that makes you and accepting the parts of self that have been isolated because they didn't fit neatly into boxes. Your future self is telling you that this lifetime is going to be difficult in some ways. You are going to experience heartbreak because of the vastness of this energy, but it is also going to be more beautiful than you could ever imagine. And you have so much to do and so much to experience. And the people and the things that you're dealing with right now, you're barely going to remember them in 6 to 10 years because you are going to have experienced and enjoyed and reveled and for some of you partied and connected and grown so much. Anyways, my loves, this is a really important reading. I encourage you, I don't get readings like this all the time. I encourage you to take some time to sit with this reading, maybe listen to it a couple of times if it resonated. But you're meant and you're built to do a lot. You just have to bring those different parts of yourself together and reckon with the um, infinite nature of who you are. Anyways, my loves, I'm gonna give my ending spiel, even though it feels weird after reading like this. Please let me know if this resonated. Like and subscribe, it helps my channel grow. Also, if you have any ideas for future readings, I would appreciate those and I will incorporate those into future offerings. Anyways, my dears, I wish you many blessings on this cosmic journey. And yeah, I don't have anything else to say.